All right, guys. It is July 30th, 2024. Marco just joined right now. There's the most that we've ever had. Can someone count how many we have right now? 28, 29, something like that? Holy cow. Shit, that's a lot of people.
Too many.
So, Nick, you want to take the floor and talk about what happened?
So,
a scenario.
Okay, so we were doing a job and a neighbor came up to me and he started talking to me. He said, "Oh yeah, my good friend, he does junk removal, blah, blah, blah." And he found, he was hired by the son. The father had passed away. The son inherited the house and the son just goes, "Just clean the fucking house out so I can sell the house." And so the guy goes in there, cleans it out. While he's cleaning it out, he finds $80,000 cash money in like a drawer. I don't know where he found it, but he found 80 grand. It wasn't stolen. It wasn't from a bank robbery. Like all these people are saying, "Oh, it's from a bank robbery. Watch out for the fucking explosion," whatever. No. So my whole thing is, if you find that much money and it's from, somebody passed away and you're doing a house clean out, it's legally, I don't think it's your money. I think it's still legally the owner's money to give it back to him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel it's right to just take that much money. I understand, like, if it's like $500, like something like that, okay. But $80,000 is kind of like the guy stashed his money underneath the fucking bed and was saving it for the rainy day, and the son never knew anything about it. But that should go to the family, my opinion. Some people may say fucking take it and buy a new truck on vacation, but I just don't think it's right to do that. It's all about your integrity at that point.
On something like that, I would definitely 100% not think twice. I would go buy me a Corvette. No, I'm kidding. I would give it back. On something like that, I would definitely give it back. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's vote on this. Who raise your hand if you would keep the money?
Mountain Life's gonna keep it.
What? Who
I haven't raised my hand yet.
Anybody would keep the money? Mountain Right has raised her hand. One person, Mountain Man. Can you believe I let him sleep in my house? That piece of shit.
I didn't find anything. What the heck?
I mean, it'd be a hard one too, right? Like if you found that much money, it'd be super difficult because you'd be like, "Oh my God, I could take it." There's so much you could do with it, but
what would be the cutoff amount to where you would keep?
I'm gonna get that too. I'm gonna do that right now, Herrera. I'm gonna do it right now. Okay. Here it goes. So about 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, I ran into the same situation. I was in a house in Dallas, Texas, and I got hired from the attorney. What's going on? Who's killing each other over there? Vince, cut that shit off. I'm going to mute your ass. All right. I got hired from the attorney, and the attorney just opened the door, unlocked it, and then I noticed there was yellow tape in the apartment. Like I said, don't enter, hazardous, bullshit like that. And I'm like, what's going on here? Well, here's what happened. The guy worked at a bank, and somebody had ripped him off. He drove down to the to the bank and shot and killed the teller. And then his dad found out. So he drove down there and they both got shot and killed because police arrived. So the dad and son died. Now, that was all I heard about the story. While I'm cleaning the house, here's what happened. I'm cleaning the house. I end up finding $11,800 cash. I felt guilty. I did. I wanted to keep the money, and I stashed it. It was in envelopes. They were in envelopes, and they were thick, and some of them were not thick. The most I found in one spot was $2,800, and then another one had $1,000, one had $800, and it just added up to $11,800. I kept all of them. I put them away. I kicked everybody out of the room. That's another thing that I want to say. I kicked everybody out of the room, and I only allowed myself to be in the room. Now, I felt guilty. I called my father. He said, "Ricardo, we don't do that. Call the attorney, call whoever hired you and let them know. I said, okay. I called them. This is the conversation I had. Hello? Yes, sir. This is Ricardo with the Junk Guys, and I'm down here. Yes, what's going on? I said, well, we found a lot of tools. Just keep them. And we found a lot of there's a brand new mixer here. Just keep it. What else do you need? Well, sir, we found some money. Just keep it. Just keep it. I said, yeah, but it was like, listen, son, I got to go. Just call me when you need to get paid. And I go, yes, sir. Raise your hand right now if you would keep the money. Herrera, you Mountain Life to 1, 2, 3. Come on, let's go. 7, 8, Nick, 9. We're at 9. We're 10, 11. We're 9. We're 9 people. Okay. Okay. Well, who wouldn't keep it? Randy, you wouldn't keep it? I mean, come on. Who wouldn't keep it?
Oh, sorry, I'm driving, so I'm not going to be very active with it. But yeah, I'd try to keep it.
How about you, Renardia? What's going on with you?
I'm keeping it.
Okay, you're keeping it.
I
Brandon?
told you to keep it.
I just jumped on. I didn't hear the scenario.
Okay. Lonnie?
It depends on the circumstance.
I just gave you the circumstance, Lonnie. What else do you
Well,
want to know?
is there any next of kin?
No. The son and the dad died the same day.
Keep
Not
the
that
money.
anybody cares about.
Keep the money.
Yeah,
totally
I'll keep it
different.
at that point.
Okay. Alex?
Probably.
Probably.
Okay, probably you give me a fucking answer. What's up, Alex?
Keep it.
What the fuck?
Probably keep it.
Okay. So most of us would say we would keep it. In that circumstances, that's what I have. I did end up keeping the money. I actually cleaned out 2 condos that day. And with the money, I used that as a down payment to buy the condo itself. Can you believe that shit? Yes. I put $30,000, including the $11,800 that I found. I bought the condo. I kept the condo for about 4 years. And then I sold the condo and I made good profit. I made $33,000 profit on the condo. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. I remember seeing the check for $33,000. I was so excited. I was like, I can't believe I got paid that much for something. So the $11,000, $11,800 got me that, which is pretty cool. We chatting? Where's the chat? Show everyone. What's up? Okay. Okay, so I had a subject to talk about. Listen, guys, if we have anything we're going to talk about tonight, you want to ask questions about business, you want to ask questions about the economy, you want to ask questions about who is this Vince note taker? Vince taking a note taker? Right now would be a good chance that we can get some of these questions out of the way also. The subject tonight was going to, Orson, what did we say what the subject was going to be? I had a good, oh, never mind. I just remembered it. All right, I'm going to pull up the, and tell you what happened on this deal right here. So this might happen to other people out there, but it did happen to me. So it kind of sucks. So this was a shoe-in of a job right here. I go out to
26, and they called me out because they had
in Arlington, Texas. I get the call the same day. If you just look at the video, it's going to say it. So honestly, it was a bad encampment. I got called from the property management team who manages the bowling alley right next to it. And they had 7 days to clean this property. Okay. While I am there doing this property, another junk removal company shows up. The guy recognized me. He became my buddy, Eric, from On Point Junk Removal. Me and Eric, we decide to gang up on this and manipulate the pricing on this job. I estimated this price to be about the $4,000 range. Eric decided at $6,500, and I said, we will join up on this, and we will do half the job each for $5,000. Eric, you will walk away with $2,500, and I will walk away with $2,500. I called Orson. Orson was going to be contracted to do about 50% of my 50% of this job because it's only 2 trailer loads. It's just scattered. There was a lot of recycled. There was a lot of stolen bikes on this property, but there's a few needles, nothing big, and there was some human feces too on this job site. The lady who was at the time was my friend. She asked me for pictures. I took a lot of pictures. I sent them in to her by email. She received them the same day. This was a Friday, by the way. It was late. And I sent her the pictures because I thought we were buddies, like an idiot. That's a mistake that I did because now she knows what the property looks like. She had no idea what it looked like. They were out of state. She called me from like a 456 number, which I thought was California. I don't know what it was. I didn't care. Anyway, Eric got there. Eric didn't know what to price it, so he just threw a number of $6,500. All right, guys. So let's in the chat. Everybody pull up their chat and let's throw a number out there. Where do we think we're at just by looking at it? Where do y'all think it's at? I will tell you that the property is about, from dirtiness, it's about maybe a 9. It's dirty, but it's scattered. And right over, right, I don't show it. I think I show it because I show the barbecue grill. Yeah, right here. I'm about to show this. On the side of this building, there's a lot of bikes, stolen bikes. See, I show that. It's not really messy. That's the problem. It's just scattered everywhere, and it wouldn't fit much. It wouldn't fit.
Is that everything?
Yeah, that's about it. And there's a little at the start of the video, there were two little small piles, very minor piles. Both piles would fit easily in the back of a pickup truck, and you still have room. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you have to.
I'm about to show one of the piles.
Structure's coming down.
Structure is not going to come down, but the tarps on the structure are coming down. There's a pile, Nick.
Ooh,
stolen bikes. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to get to that, Sin City. Trust me.
Is it all pretty accessible, or do you have to like?
Oh, you can back your trailer right into it. It's all dirt, and there's a path. And it's, I think at the start of this video, Renardio, you'll get a chance. I'm gonna rewind it in just a second. You'll get a chance to see how far it is. But I think I show the car right now. Hold on. Let me see what happens at the end of this video. And right here, I'm just making fun of the whole thing. I'm just talking about, oh, here's the living room suite. Here's the kitchen. Guys, they had a nook, you know, whatever. So, and this is one of those unique situations where it bit me in the ass. I don't think for manipulating the price. It wasn't that. We were just trying to both join the price, get the price, and get the job, and get it right for these people. Okay? We all know. Hey, by the way, listen, so I see everybody putting their prices in. Emilio didn't put anything in, but I see a lot of other people putting prices out. Okay. If this was like what it is right now, and you had to make $100 profit off this, the job is to do this job and only make $100 profit. There it is. You see the truck, Renardia? You see it? Hold on, Renardia. Let me go back. Oh, there he is. There he is right there. That's Eric right there. So this is the next video. Right there. That's Eric. So look at my truck, Renardia. Look, Renardia. You see the truck trail?
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, it's right there. You see it right there. Do you see the car back there? Okay, so you see the car back there. Okay. So let's say that we had to make $100, an honest $100. How much do we price this job at? I want everybody to price this. So what is it's owned by your mom. It's owned by your mom. And you need to tell your mom the truth. What can this job be done for? Okay, Nick says $350. Okay. That's a good price. That's a good price. I think it's going to cost me a little bit more. Josh, shut the fuck. Josh, what the fuck is wrong with you, Josh? Okay, Indio, the hauler. It says 700, 900, 888. Okay. My mom, 8,700. All right. Fuck, I'm going to delete him. Moses, 640. My trailer is 34 yards, 1,200 with dump fees. Jeffrey Landron says 450. Vince says, okay. Renardia. I know the number because I looked at that too. Okay, cool. So this job is 2 trailer loads. 100% is 2 trailer loads. It's going to be about 80% of 2 trailers. So it's going to easily fill up 1 trailer and then 80% of the other trailer. So it's going to have 20% left. But then don't forget there's recycling. So the job would fall between like the 800 to 775 price range. So most of us, we were close. I mean, Indio's really, really close. You got somebody like Ed Garcia, who's pretty close. Sin City, it wasn't going to go to that Sin City 900. Just wasn't going to touch that. Brandon's a little too high there. Matt, you're a little too high. No, this is family, Renardio. We're not going to add any hazmat and stuff. You know what I mean? Jeffrey says 450. It's just got to be a big fucking truck to be 450. This was going to fill a trailer. So I want you to think about something, okay? I'm going to write it down. The average price on this job is about $750. Because I just did some math here. $750. I had priced it at $5,000. Man, our margins are fucking ridiculous. Just by looking at that, you could tell our margins are ridiculous. What are our expenses on this? What is everybody's expenses on this? My expenses, I'm going to throw in, I'm going to write this down. 50 for gas, just because I'm going to use gas. No, I think it couldn't, Brandon, it would not, it's going to take 2 loads. It's going to take a load and a little bit more, Brandon. I know you put new walls up, but I know how big your trailer is, okay? 50 gas, I'm going to hire Orson for $100. He'll help me out. He won't even charge me, but I'm going to just pretend he's like a Orson's little cousin, right? My dump fee is going to be in the 140 range because I'm going to use 2 trailers. Dump. And then I'm going to charge also a fee for me. And I'm going to say $100 just for me coming out. That's a work fee. What else am I?
So you said you just wanted to make $100, dude. So
yeah. That's the $100.
You have $200 in your fuel, your dumps, blah, blah, blah. And you have a $50 miscellaneous and you have a $100 profit, $350.
So that's what it looks like. So I'm going to spend $390 to do this job. Yeah. And I'm going to make $5,000. Did anybody give me the math on that?
No, that's a lot of money.
That's $4,610. I'm just having that.
I need to go to Texas.
Am I right, the guys? Anybody doing their math on that? What the profit is on that? But I just did on top of my head. All right, that's good money. And me and Eric were going to half that money of $5,000. So he was going to take half of the $390, and I was going to take the other half. So entirely, we're going to spend about 140. What is that? 145. That's 145. That's 145. 290. What is that number? 145. What's half of 390, guys? 185. Okay. Thank you, Lonnie. Thank you. I was waiting for somebody. So my expenses were going to be 185. His expenses were going to be 185. And let me tell you what happened. Lonnie, you have a question? Mountain Life, you have a question?
Yeah, I do, but it's a question for after we're done with this.
Okay.
It's a pricing question.
Where we're at right now, guys, does anybody have any questions? I want someone to ask me something about this job. Where we're at right now, I think it's important because this is going to be a learning experience for all of us after I tell you what happened. Go ahead, Fred.
Maybe the biggest question for me is how would you price it differently if you did hire people on hourly?
Like I wasn't there, I contracted it, but I wanted it contracted with my trucks and my trailers and stuff.
Yeah. Or just if you had a crew, maybe even.
You know what? I priced it around the $5,000 range. Yeah.
Okay, similar. Yeah. So, but yeah, okay.
I'm just gonna make less. I'm gonna price it at $5,000.
Oh yeah, a lot less.
And
yeah, a lot less.
My expenses would probably be around the $690 range now. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna hire people to do it. So I'm just thinking that's what it would, price it different. Nick, you got a question? Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah. So how do you come up with that much of margin? Like when the customer asks you, like, why you charge me $5,000, dude?
Brother, I'm gonna tell you. Like Renardia earlier said, there was hazardous materials in there.
Mm-hmm.
There was needles. There's $1,000 fee for that. There was human feces. There's a $500 fee for that. If my price was at $3,500, which was one of the prices somebody said that, I'm gonna look at this. Somebody said $3,500 up there, and that was, I think that was Alex. Alex, and you're right. The price would be that. but I saw needles and I also saw human feces. So I'm going to charge an extra that. And plus, guess what, Nick? They want this shit done on Saturday. Today was
I
Friday.
get it done.
You know, today was Friday. Eric was ready to roll on Saturday. Here's what happened. Okay. Well, we got Lonnie. Go ahead and ask the question, Lonnie.
For a job like this, and have you ever rented a stand-up loader with a forks on the front or a grabber on the front?
No, Lonnie, we would just do it by hand and just be careful about what we're grabbing.
Too small.
Yeah, it's too small of a job. We're not tearing down the we're removing the mattress and the tables and the nook. We'll probably break that down, but no, we're not doing anything exciting. You know, we're not tearing down. I think you're oh shit. I think you're considering excuse me guys, I think you're considering that we would break down the whole roof and the wood, but no, I'm not going to do that. Nothing like that. Fred, you had a question?
Oh.
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah. So
Fred.
I had a house.
Go ahead, Fred.
And I was kind of wondering about pricing. We had a house that was 2.5 hours away from us. We brought a 30-yard can, which we own, and then a 15-yard dumpster as well.
How much is this job worth, Nick, Fred? How much is this job worth?
To me, or like the base price?
How much did you base price it at?
I priced it at $4,000.
I'm going to tell you something. For 2.5 hours, I cannot go for $4,000. I'm just not traveling 2.5 hours.
Oh, they were still trying to negotiate it. Even at that, she thought it was just going to be $2,000.
Is everybody traveling? I'm sorry. I just said something. Who's traveling 2.5 hours for $4,000? Raise your hand, guys, if you're traveling that far. Why? Okay, Matt is okay. Hey, there's nothing wrong. Vince is too. Okay. We have like 2-3 people. 3. Nick, are you going?
No.
Vince and 2 other people.
No, those are paying me a shitload of money.
You know, my situation is this: that $4,000 is a lot of money. It really is.
Yeah.
But I don't think my trucks would do the wear and tear at 2.5 hours. That's a fucking long way, bro. And then listen to this, guys. Listen to this. You're not thinking a lot of stuff. You go 2.5 hours, and then you got to come back. That's 5 hours. You know it's a big job if it's 4,000. How long is that job going to take you? 5 hours?
It took us 6.
A whole day.
All day.
Yeah, we've already done the job.
Wow. Yeah, it's just too far for me. It's just way too far for me. I couldn't do that job. So I cut that really fast. Nick, what was your question anyway, Freddie?
Were you asking me or Nick?
No, you, Freddie. Fred.
No, I was just wondering, how do you guys gauge something like that? It was the guy died, you know, not a hoarder clean out, but it was just dirty. There's rat poop everywhere, you know, stuff like that. You know, we just took out all his stuff, his frames, his books, his furniture, and we filled up a full 45 yards worth of crap into our 30-yard and then our 15-yard. How would you guys gauge something like, because they're at 4,000, they were like, oh my gosh, I thought it was going to be 2. And I'm like, you're in the middle of nowhere. Like, how is it 2? Yeah. You know, there's absolutely no profit with 2.
Did you make money at 4?
Oh no, I made like $3,000, but you know, we were in and out. I had my guys do it, and you know, I mean, it was profitable. It's just, I just don't. To me, I feel like it should have been 600 to 8,500. I feel like I should have made, you know, and I get it. Our margins are crazy high, but I just with bringing almost $300,000 worth of equipment to a job, that merits a certain type of price. You know, when I can get it.
What's your population density in the area that you're in?
Well, that city has like probably like a 300 person, but the city that I normally are in is like 12,000.
Okay, so
that was a really small town.
Extremely different circumstances than what we deal with in DFW.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to point out something, because if I don't say this, I think it's just gonna blow this conversation to shit. But Fred, and I think we all know that you have a lot of expensive equipment, and we all know that you make a lot more money than a lot of us do on this thing. But you make no fucking profit, brother, because you have so much expensive equipment. Why would you drive 2.5 fucking hours? You should have called me before we did put on this video, so I could have scolded your ass. But Fred, fuck, what are you doing driving 2.5 hours, bro, to a fucking $4,000 job? You could have just called me and asked me. What the fuck, bro? I mean,
when you got that sort of population, those big jobs might be few and far between.
That's well, Matt. Here's the thing about it. Wait, are you agreeing or disagreeing, Matt? I'm sorry. Are you agreeing you should have gone? Okay, you agree. Okay. The problem is this, is that you go so far, that money will eventually come, Nick, right? It eventually comes in another job. It eventually comes in another day. We're trying to keep you profitable, Fred. We're trying to keep you profitable. And I got mad at Fred the other day. I got mad at Fred because, fuck. I said, Fred, you need to think about your family first. Think about your kids first. And Fred's been stressing out. He was stressing out last month about paying bills and having, his equipment and giving his equipment back, bullshit like this. And Fred, you can stop me at any time, okay?
No, you're good. You're good.
And he was telling me that his finance, I said, Fred, you got to give some of these vehicles back. If they repo them, but you got to save your business because your baby girl's got to eat. And this is what this motherfucker does, guys. He goes and buys two. What did you buy? You bought two 40-yarders or something like that?
No, 30s, like 230s cash.
Yeah, 230 yarders. And tell me what your excuse was, Fred. Tell me what it was. How did you make that money? Really fast. Tell everybody.
I sold some other equipment.
Say it one more time.
Sold some other equipment.
And bought new.
I'm going to tell you something. Fucking because it frustrated me. He sold other equipment, made money off other equipment to buy the same fucking kind of equipment.
Yes. Brand new.
It's new.
Nick, I don't need your help right now, Nick. Okay. I'm trying to save money for Fred and his family, his baby girl and his wife. And Fred goes off, and I tell Fred, why would you do something like that? Fred, we're trying to save money, not spend money. And I think Fred's problem is that he's dismissive, avoidant of the consequences of spending money. You dismiss it and you avoid it. Ed, chime in, Ed. Say something, Ed. You got your hands crossed. Say something. Because we're older. Fred's a young kid.
I'm learning something, yes, I'm older than most of you guys, but I'm learning something, learning not to spend my money like that.
I would like to hear your opinion about it.
I would love to be able to go out there and buy a couple of 30-yarders and stuff like that, but I'm not in that position, and then
you got to store them too.
Yeah. I'm retired and I just don't want to put myself in that position. I want to be able to make a little bit of money just to keep my wife happy. And that's it for me. It's a tough business.
Yeah, it's a tough business. Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. I'm going to get right back to that. It's a tough business. Lonnie, go ahead. I love to hear this opinion. Go ahead, Lonnie.
I was just wondering, is that part of the FEMA cleanup down in New Mexico? That's why you added
this job, no, but we've got a bunch of other stuff that's FEMA oriented. That's kind of going through, and then there's tons of contractors coming up. Not that that justifies anything. I mean, in the perfect world, I could buy a grapple truck, but I'm not there yet.
The thing, Matt, let me explain something to you, Matt. Okay, is that we want Fred to make money. We don't want him to make money and pay bills. I'm trying to make money so he can save money. And the only way we can do that is his expenses. See, guys, what's going on is that he is generating a lot of fucking money. He's making a lot of money, but he watches that. He's like, I'm for the kill. I want to make money. I'm the predator. I'm going to go make money. And you know what he forgets? About the expenses. His expenses aren't irrelevant to him. It just seems like I've talked to him all the time, and it seems like his expenses are irrelevant. I worry. I'm going to tell you something. I worry more, and Orson knows this. I worry more about my expenses than I do my sales. all the time. I'm worrying how much money is going out more than I worry about how much money is coming in.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
Arthur, go ahead, chime in, Arthur. I'm going to turn on my fan. Chime in, Arthur. I want to hear what you think about this.
I really don't have much to say. I'm fucking buzzing already. But
right, go eat a burger or something then. Fuck
but yeah. No, I'm definitely very cautious about where I spend my money and where it's going, because I'm still at the point, you know, I'm 3 years in. I don't pay for any kind of advertising, and I still don't know what next week looks like. Like, I'm still not busy week in and week out. So I watch everything I can, you know. Any money I get before anything, me and my wife do the envelope system for our bills, and anything that comes in, you know, a bill gets filled up, you know, before I spend money anywhere else.
Thank you very much. Orson, you have your question, your thing going up? Go ahead.
Yeah, but I did notice that you really care about how much money comes out, and I was wondering if that's one of the reasons why you pay for cash for everything, so you can kind of see how much money is going out. Because I know, like, for me, you know, I use credit cards for pretty much everything, thinking I'm getting lucky with all the points and stuff, and I do pay them off at the end of the month. But I do notice that if I go and spend a crisp $20 bill, it hurts me, man. It hurts. But if I swipe for $100, it's like nothing. So I don't know. Is that part of the reason why you use cash for everything?
I use cash because I read a book a long time ago, and it was a book about
Cash is king.
Cash is king. That's great. That's great. It was actually Bill Gates, right? And it was a book about how when he started up in Albuquerque and New Mexico, because that's how he started his business. And they asked him, "Do you want to expand this business?" He was young. He was like 24 years old. And he said, "I don't know how much money's in the bank." And the lady said, "You have $15,000 in the bank, cash." And he said, "Then keep on growing the business. But when it gets down and we're using credit, let me know, because that's when we're not making any money." And he always relied on having money in the bank. So what I do, I use cash because I don't have any credit. And I've always used cash because of that reason. So whenever we go somewhere, it's a rarity that I pull out my credit card or something, or I don't have any credit cards, but it's a rarity that I pull out my debit card. I usually pay cash because I want to see it in my hand. I want to see money. I want to feel it. You know what I mean? I want to give it. And I know that Orson, so when we go to the gas station, Orson checks for deals and stuff, buying stuff. But I'm not buying anything right now because I'm on a diet right now. But when we were in the past, we would look at the prices. He would look at the prices and everything. I'm just grabbing shit, you know. I'm just grabbing shit and paying cash for it like that. But I can tell where he's coming from. So I do understand that part. I do. Anybody got a question? I like the cash. I like that. Did I say that right, Matt? I like the cash. There you go. Yeah, revenue is not the same as profit. Of course not. Of course not. So I'm trying to save Fred money by getting mad and frustrated at Fred. And he knows that. He's my friend. First of all, he's my friend. He stayed at my house for 4 days, or 3 days. Matt, you stayed at my house for 3 days. You could have done the fourth one, but we didn't know. You stayed in the car with the fan and the police. But you have to realize I'm not yelling at, I get frustrated. I get frustrated. 2.5 hours to go do a job. And Jeffrey says something really smart. He said he would put too much wear and tear on the vehicles because they can't handle that long drive. Shit, my trucks barely handle the drive to fucking Dallas. You know what I mean? They start smoking. They start making
I wouldn't
weird
aim
noises.
to do that on the daily, but a one-off like that, I don't think is terrible.
I don't have a new truck. None of my trucks cost more than $5,000. What do you think? I'm going to drive 2.5 hours in that bitch? I don't trust that thing. I'm not going to do that. Write-offs at the end of the year. That's funny. What was this topic about? So let me tell you what this guy does. I'm sorry. We'll get into it and we'll get some questions in really fast. This is what the landlord, they end up doing. Eric calls me, okay? Eric calls me. He's on point. Oh, by the way, he's not on point. Oh, he is on point. Never mind. On point. Moses, he stole your name. He's called on-site junk removal, not on point, Moses. Okay.
I feel a little better now.
Yeah, man. I told him, guys. I said to him, I said, "There's a company called On-Site Junk Removal, and he's my friend." And you know what he said? He said, "I'll beat the shit out of that guy." I'm just saying, Eric said that. And if you want to fight him, I want to see it. I'm not trying to start a fight here, but he said he beat the shit out of you, bro. I'm just saying.
I got all my money on Moses, man.
So anyway, here's what happened. The landlord thought the price was too high. So he ordered a 40-yard dumpster, put it on the property, and got his porters to load it with my pictures. He knew exactly how many people and how big the trash was because I told him. He called a local dumpster company. They put a 40-yarder out there, which it didn't fill up the 40, but about 75% of the 40. And he got 3 guys out there to do it. I took pictures. I had the guy, Eric, go by there. I wanted to see who did the job because I thought it was a local guy, and I was about to ream his ass. And no, it wasn't a local guy. It was porters did it. Oh, by the way, the porters are the people that go around with the little sticks and pick up trash and put them in trash bags in shopping centers. They just walk around. So the porter and his homeboys, which was probably his brothers, went around and got paid an extra $100 each to fill up that dumpster. They used me, man. I felt like I got used, to be honest with you. Yeah. Clinton, go ahead. You got a question, Clinton? Let's go.
Sounds like you gave him too much information.
God, dude, I fell for it so bad, Clinton.
Come on.
Oh, I know. 17 years I've been in this business, and I got so scammed. I felt so dumb. So dumb. I just was like, and I think I've seen it all. I honestly think I've seen it all, and this guy gets me. And then there was a lady that got me, and then the owner got me. The lady seduced me. She only knew how much to order and what to get, how many guys because of the pictures.
So is that the video for tomorrow?
What?
No,
there's no video, Ed. There's no video. Oh, is that my morning video? How to get screwed?
Is that your morning video for tomorrow? That'd be a good one.
Brandon, go with me, Brandon.
Hindsight is 2020, right? So if I wanted that job and they wanted proof of that price, I would have done the same thing. And if I would have saw the same thing, I would have felt bad about it afterwards, but it's hindsight at this point.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Thanks, Nick. Oh, thanks, Matt. Oh, shit, man. You know what? Next time I get a big fucking job like that, I'm just going to bring Nick and fucking Matt. How about y'all two? I want y'all to show up, assholes. Why don't we just all get screwed on the fucking job like this? Really easy, right? It's bothered me all day. It bothered me that day.
From the landlord point of view, let's look at it that way.
Yeah, I know. You're right. He got a deal. He got a better deal. I mean, his the dumpster was at least $600 because I know that company, and then he probably paid each guy $150. So he spent $1,000, and I was going to charge him $5. So he made out with $4,000 of expenses he didn't have to pay. I don't know, Emilio, if she didn't like the price of $5,000, but I think they just started in. And oh, by the way, this is what I started thinking. I said, this shows you, this right here shows you why business is slow right now. People are more aware of pricing right now. I have done 3 estimates, and I have not landed one of them. Yeah. I have not landed one of them. Indio, go ahead.
So I know we covered this in the past, but I'm curious now today's date. What are some of you guys here on this line are using to promote your business? I know we did it in the past, but we got new people here, and because the economy is slow, we talked about it. Just curious, what are you guys doing today to promote your business?
Well, that's a little off topic, but I haven't changed anything. I'm not changing anything because it's lasted me 17 years and it's got me this far. And I'm hoping my down economy over here. And I ain't gonna lie, I spent so much fucking. I'm sorry, I don't want to cuss. I'm a little frustrated right now. My haunted house has gone over a number that I don't really want to bring up right now. And we're not sure if we can even launch it because of the permits at the moment. So I'm day to day. My operations are week to week, actually, not day to day. They're week to week right now. And how much money that I can, and I'm not embarrassed to say it right now because I've lived a life of 17 years of niceness, but I poured too much money into this building at this point, and we don't know if we can get a haunted house going. We don't know what the city's going to do. I'm at their will. Ed, go ahead. Ed, go ahead. I got to hear what you got to say, Ed.
No. So I've been doing hot tub removals, and been charging $300 for hot tubs, and they're telling that is a hell of a price. I don't know what people are charging here in San Antonio, but they're pleasantly surprised with the $300 hot tub removal. I'm just wondering if we should just charge more or just stay right there where we're at. I have one tomorrow and I have one the next Thursday, and people are like, "That's it."
Josh, what are you charging for hot tubs in the same city?
I charge 300. Depending if it's a big one, I'll charge 350. But
are you running into the same, I guess, issue? I mean, are people kind of surprised at the price, or are they?
Yeah, I've gotten that a lot. They're like,
Yeah,
man, that's a hell of a deal.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. We are way too cheap on these hot tubs. We can easily push them to 400.
Hey, Josh, we need to have lunch, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Y'all need to fix the pricing in y'all's area.
Yeah,
you need to fix the pricing in this area. And
today, we're at 600 for a hot tub in Austin.
600.
You're in Austin. They're in San Antonio. They're in the ghetto. You're in the fucking Highland Park over there.
Hey, Austin is nice, man. I like Austin. I like Austin money.
Yeah, Austin will pay.
Austin will pay, bro.
Yeah.
What does that say, Emilio?
Didn't a great time.
Hey, take that shit off the screen, Emilio. I'm gonna kick that phone out of your thing because you got a review. Orson, go ahead, Orson.
Yeah, kind of to go back to India's question really quick of like how to get more jobs. I think we've covered that about like 100,000 times so far. But I think like one thing I've been focusing on is instead of like putting out like content in other places or trying a new thing, this or that, I've been really focusing on just kind of closing more deals. So, I don't know what your guys' rate is, but like, I mean, out of like 10 jobs you get, or 10 phone calls, 10 leads you get, how many of those do you really close? And I feel like if that number is pretty low, but then maybe instead of focusing on, okay, how do I get more jobs? How do I get more jobs? I think it's more about closing jobs. And I noticed Ricardo, man, it's rare he doesn't get one. I think you're at like 99 out of 100. And I notice it's really his personality too, just the way you talk to customers, stuff that. Yeah, I'm in the process of moving, and just kind of for shits and giggles, I called some moving companies, and I felt like I was bothering them. And I'm like, I wonder if that's how some of these junk removal companies are. I wonder how people treat.
I'm sorry, Orson, you felt like you were what?
Bothering them, like they were trying to get me off the phone. It's like it was just like I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but I'm like, I feel like customer service is really important. And I don't know. I think as long as you're really good about it, you're really willing to work with people. And if you're getting like 9 out of 10 jobs, I think that's pretty good. But I think if that number is lower than that, then I mean.
Clinton, you had a question, Clinton? Thank you, Orson.
Well, Orson kind of hit it on the head, what I was going to say. Talking to people, reading them. Hit them with that $400 price, and that your bottom line is $300. Go a little higher and then come down and feel like they're getting a deal, But they might say that $450 because they want the hot tub gone, period. That's what they called you. And you're there now, and they'll probably do $100 more or something.
Let me reassure
Try it out. You can always just have a bottom dollar. That's it. They don't take that, then leave.
Offer cash discounts.
Well, maybe I could borrow her, Mario, because my rate sucks right now. Listen, if it's a small job, I can hook them. Just this whole estimate thing lately, I've missed out on a $4,500, a $5,000 job, a $6,500. I'm 0 for 3 on these jobs like this month. Just this month, 0 for Orson. I struck out 3 times, didn't I, Orson?
Bro, I don't remember the last time I was in the car with you and you didn't get a job, though. I think you're just in a bad bad funk.
Yeah, I'm a bad funk.
I mean, every time I'm with you, you close. Bro, you pick up the phone 5 seconds later, we're on the way.
It's because you haven't had work.
I also think it's a lot more complicated. Like when it's over like $1,000, I think it's a lot more complicated.
No,
but when it's like a
$1,000
hot tub,
when you're over like 4, that's when I see it more of a challenge, and that's what I'm good at, closing the big ones. And lately, I've been striking out. But again, more people are just being more cautious too. Have y'all? Is that me? Am I just making shit up? And Ed, you're staring at me like I'm an idiot here. But like, Nick, are people being more cautious or no?
Yeah, definitely in California they are. They're very tight with their money right now.
Good.
Very tight.
Good.
Yeah, everybody's being cautious.
Yeah.
Everybody's being cautious. Brandon, you have a question, Brandon.
Yeah, so what I've noticed is the standard junk removal jobs like garage clean out, couch removal, hot tub removal, those types of jobs, the middle class, and you can tell what neighborhood you're in when you're going. Middle class, I'm not talking upper middle class, but the middle class, they're paying with credit cards as opposed to Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, all that. They're paying with credit cards. And so understanding that, I do a lot of construction debris removal because I have dump trailers. And what I've noticed is when I go into those neighborhoods, they're upper middle class and they're paying to have their bathroom remodeled, their kitchen remodeled, and I remove that debris. And so that part of it is still going strong, but the middle class is struggling. And I think that's what we're seeing.
Wow. That's good. I mean, that's pretty good. I understand what he's saying. I do.
Solid evaluation.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
What'd you say? What'd you say? Okay, listen, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I told you the story really quick. I got to tell you a story. Matt, you got a question, Matt? Go ahead, Matt.
No, I've been doing almost exclusively real estate agents and business owners cleaning out their storage units because they're all downsizing too.
Lonnie says a good thing. He says, 63% of people in the United States cannot even afford a $500 expense. Just for shits and giggles, 72% of people don't even have $1,000 in the bank. I saw that today. If TikTok was lying to me, then they were probably lying to me. 72% don't have $1,000. $1,000 in the bank. Okay, so I don't know if y'all heard this story. I did this story. Did I talk about the guy with the restaurant? Did I tell anybody hear that? Nick, did you hear it? The restaurant story? All right, good. Short story because I got 3 minutes. Okay, here it goes. I went to a house the other day, and just to show you how shitty the economy is, I went to a house the other day in McKinney, Texas. Maddie was with me. We finished cleaning out the house. The guy had a lot of restaurant equipment in there and a lot of beer kegs on there. And anyway, I go in over there and I told the guy, either you were a really heavy drinker at home or you owned a restaurant. He laughed. He goes, oh, yeah, I owned a restaurant. I owned 2 restaurants. I said, okay, cool. He said in the last month that he was open, this, everybody look at the notes, is how much he made. He made $780,000 the last month he was open, which was March of 2024. He made $780K.
Between the both.
No, just one store. We're about to get to good shit. In Fort Worth, he owned. Oh, by the way, the restaurant was called Steak and Pour. Pour like drink liquor. In Fort Worth. It's important to tell you that because this is the whole point of the story. The March 2024 $780,000 that he made. Brandon, you're gonna love this. Was in McKinney and Frisco, on the border of McKinney and Frisco. That's where his restaurant was located. The Fort Worth location made this.
What's the profit?
That's where we're gonna get to that. Okay. All right. Here's what he told me, and I'm trying to remember. 90% of people in the Frisco and McKinney area paid with CC, credit card. He said this is what he told me, that at the end of a week, he'd be lucky if they broke $500 cash.
Sad.
I was like, what? Now, that is, and I'm sorry, and I'm Brandon, I'm going to let you say this. In the McKinney and Frisco area, can you tell me the income, just throw a number out there and tell me the house prices for that so everybody can realize this, Brandon, that I'm not making shit up. Tell them how much the house. Yeah.
Income to live there, $250,000 a year minimum, and the house price is $500K plus.
It's cheap.
All right, that is in the McKinney area. The restaurant, Steak and Pour, is not far from my house. It's not far from my house. It closed down. Okay. He told me that 70% of his customers, it's going to get a good story right here, uses cash in Fort Worth. 70% of his customer uses cash in Fort Worth. Why did they close down? The $780,000 that he made, he was in the red every month. They were losing money every month. Even when they topped out at $1.2 million in 1 month last year, they were topping out in the red. They could not make $1 out of that store. And he told me it was credit cards. I said, how? He goes, because at $780,000 at 3%, which I rounded off, the credit card companies made this much. Holy fuck. $21,000 of his money went to the credit card. That's just profit. He said they had a business partner called Visa and MasterCard Processing, and that partner made $21,000 every month.
Crazy.
He said that the store in Fort Worth making $550,000 only because they paid cash would be more profitable. So they're paying credit. Everybody's paying. But when you pay cash, you get the money. And when you pay credit card, you get the money, but you don't get all of it. Because that 3% adds up 3%. Isn't that crazy? The medium income in this area, in my area, is going to be between the $70,000 to $100,000 range. A house in this area costs about $250,000 to $350,000 in my area. And honestly, at $500K plus for the McKinney and Frisco, that's pretty low. That's the cheapest house can be, like cheap, like ghetto cheap in Frisco for $500,000. He said that in Fort Worth, $550,000 that they would actually pull a profit because people paid cash. That is crazy. And he wasn't scared to tell me the numbers. He had closed down already. The thing was that the store in McKinney dragged down the store in Fort Worth. They just couldn't take it.
So all this was processing fees? Is that what?
That's all it was, Ed. There was nothing else.
Processing through credit card and debit card?
That's it, Ed. That's all it was. 90% of their customers were using credit cards. So it kind of shows you who's been hit by the economy the most, and which is my normal customer, is in the Frisco, McKinney area, high-end Dallas area. And those are the customers not calling me right now at this moment.
So I have a quick question for you. Should we have an upcharge for credit cards? I mean, as a small junk removal company, I mean,
I charge 5%.
I charge 5%.
No, you don't upcharge for them. You give a discount for cash payments.
I don't take credit cards.
I just force them to pay cash, Zelle, or Venmo. I mean, they usually do when you mention that fee.
Okay.
So I'm going to estimate that at the end of 1 year, it'd be a little over $240,000 in just fees. It's about 21K a month. So I'm just estimating. I don't know. My number might be off. Orson, go ahead.
Yeah, I think with someone here asked about charging the customer for that fee. A lot of restaurants here in Dallas do that.
They do that.
I refuse to go.
I refuse.
I get so mad. I get so mad about it because, like, say if I go out with like a friend or something like that, right? I spend $100, and $100 of my hard-earned money I'm giving to that restaurant, and then they want to just magically add 3% to that.
You got me.
Like, why not just raise your prices by 3%? No, bro. I used to go to every other day. I refuse to go now because I'm like, y'all are screwing me. I'm like, you can't eat that 3%. I'm like, just raise your price. You already charged me $4 for a freaking Coca-Cola.
So how do you combat that, Orson? I mean,
just rate 3%. Okay, for every $100, it's $3, right? You do a hot tub for $300. If that $9 is really bothering you so much, charge $320. Charge
definitely. Yeah,
you know, I'm like, is that because here's the thing?
You don't know ahead of time if they're going to pay credit card or not. You know, so when you give them an estimate,
you assume they will. Assume that they will. Assume that they're going to pay with the credit card. Make your price $320. Hey, are you paying cash? I'll give you a $20 discount. You know how happy that would make me?
Vince, say what you're going to say, Vince.
Yes. So one way you can combat that about the percentage, charging, if you use a Square or something like that, it gives you an option for getting tips. So say, each job you're getting, $40 in tips. At the end of the day, that's, 40 times 5. What is that? That's 80.
I'm not going to do that, Vince.
So, I mean, that's how I do it. I'm making, all the jobs, I'm making $90 a tip for just sometimes by myself, So sometimes that pays for my gas plus, the card fees throughout the whole day.
Look at the chat, Vince. You see the chat?
That's a good way.
Yeah, that's you go. So, quick story again. Quick story again. For Valentine's Day, I took my wife. We went to a restaurant. The bill was $75. $75. And I thought my wife told me to look at the bill because I never look at the bill. And I said, honey, why? He goes, because they get people these days. Remember they got us like a couple of days ago. You just paid it. And I'm like, okay. So I look at the bill, and I've told Orson this story. I look at the bill, and there's $5 fee. $5 for Kitchen Love. It actually says Kitchen Love at the end.
Kitchen Love?
Kitchen and Love. So the waitress comes up, and I said, ma'am, the bill was $75. So the original bill was 70, and then they put the Kitchen Love in. I told the girl this. I said, what is this? And she goes, oh, it's a tip for the kitchen.
What the fuck?
Oh my God. It made me so angry. I went berserk on this thing. And I told her this. This is what I told her. Here's $100. I'm going to leave that to you. If you want to take off that Kitchen Love, you go up to the manager and you tell them that I refuse to pay that, and you're going to make $25 off this. But if you want to keep it and give the kitchen the $5, then that's up to you. But here's $100. You know what she did? She went up to the manager and said that I wanted to keep it off. And she made her $25. She, who works at the restaurant, refused to give the kitchen the $5 tip, but she'll force it onto me. because the kitchen has to have some love. Isn't that crazy? That is some crazy shit. Oh, bro, I've told the story so many effing times to all my friends. Don't go to this restaurant just because of the kitchen love thing. That is crazy.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Kitchen love, man. Kitchen love. Vince, you had another question or no? All right, your hand was still up. Okay, guys. That's
Yep,
going
no,
to
my
be our
bad.
session for tonight. I appreciate everybody staying tuned. If you're looking at a recording of this video, because I think Rick needed one because he wasn't going to be here tonight, it'll be on YouTube. It's a live video in the live section of the YouTube channel. You can look at it again. I think Rick likes to read these again all the time. Everybody have a good night. I will see everybody next week at the same time, 9 p.m. Good night, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, Rick. Take care.
Thank you, guys.